What if the most ordinary place you visit every week suddenly stopped behaving normally? It was a quiet Saturday morning when Laiba and Halima went shopping with their grandmother, a gentle woman who always insisted on doing everything slowly, as if every aisle of the supermarket had its own story. But that day felt slightly different because the supermarket was unusually crowded, lights flickered once at the entrance, and the automatic doors made a strange delay before opening, like they were thinking before letting people in. Their grandmother smiled warmly and said, "You two take the trolley. I'll meet you near aisle 3 inches, 10 minutes. Then slowly walked away with her usual calm steps, and that was the last normal moment of the day. At first, everything seemed fine. Laiba and Halima picked snacks, laughed about small things, and pushed the trolley through bright aisles filled with colors and noise. But when 10 minutes passed, their grandmother was nowhere near aisle 3. Halima frowned and said she might have gone to another section, so they went looking for her, calling softly, "Grandma?" But no one turned around. The supermarket suddenly felt louder, yet emptier at the same time, as if the noise was covering something missing. They returned to aisle 3, but something was wrong. The sign above the aisle was slightly crooked, and the products were different. Laiba blinked and whispered, "Didn't we just pass here?" Halima nodded slowly. "Yes. But why does it look different?" They checked again. Aisle 3 was supposed to have cereal and biscuits, but now it had cleaning supplies and blank shelves that looked freshly restocked. Confused, they rushed to a nearby staff member, but when they described their grandmother, the worker frowned and said, "Aisle 3? That section is closed for inventory. There's no customer allowed there today." A cold feeling dropped in their stomach. Because they had just been there. They hurried back anyway, but this time, aisle 3 looked completely blocked with metal barriers. A small electronic sign blinked. "Out of order." Halima grabbed Laiba's arm. "We were just inside there." But Laiba noticed something even stranger. On the floor near the barrier was their grandmother's shopping bag. Half open, fresh apples rolling slowly across the tiles. Their hearts dropped. "Grandma was here," Laiba whispered. Then suddenly a loud announcement echoed through the supermarket speakers. "Would customer with blue coat please return to aisle 3 immediately?" They froze. Their grandmother was wearing a blue coat. Halima looked up quickly. "She's on the speaker system. She's calling us." But Laiba shook her head. Grandma didn't use the speaker. How would she? They ran to customer service, panicking, but the staff looked confused. One worker checked the CCTV screens, and slowly his face went pale. He turned the monitor toward them. On the screen, their grandmother was visible, standing calmly in aisle 3, smiling at something behind her. But there was a problem. Aisle 3 on the CCTV did not exist in real life. The camera showed shelves, lights, and a full corridor, where in reality there was only a blocked wall. Halima whispered, "That's impossible." Then, on the screen, their grandmother slowly turned and waved at the camera. But in real life, behind them, there was no aisle 3 at all. Just a blank wall. The staff suddenly panicked and rushed away, calling security while the girls stood frozen. Laiba stepped closer to the wall and pressed her hand against it. It was warm, like something was on the other side. And then a faint knock came from inside. "Knock, knock?" Halima stepped back. No, that's not real." The wall vibrated slightly again. "Knock, knock, help?" Laiba's eyes widened. "That's Grandma." Security arrived, but when they tried to open the barrier, the lights in the supermarket flickered violently. Every screen turned black for a second. And when they came back on, the CCTV showed something new. Their grandmother was no longer alone. A tall shadow stood behind her in aisle 3. But in real life, the wall was still solid. The manager shouted, "Everyone evacuate the store!" Customers started rushing out, but Laiba and Halima refused to leave. Their grandmother was still inside somewhere that didn't exist. Halima suddenly noticed something on the floor near the wall. A small crack that wasn't there before. Cold air was coming out of it. Laiba knelt down. There's something under here. The crack slowly widened by itself, and then a voice came through again, but this time it was clearer. Don't let it follow you. The supermarket lights suddenly went out completely. Screams echoed everywhere. When the emergency lights turned on, aisle 3 was gone from the CCTV. Completely erased. And so was the signal from their grandmother. No trace, no aisle, no door, just a normal supermarket again. Days later, the store reopened after technical issues, but aisle 3 was permanently removed from the layout. Staff avoided talking about it, but Laiba and Halima never forgot what they saw. And sometimes, when they passed supermarkets afterward, Halima would whisper, "Do you think some places only open when they want to?" Because they both remembered one truth. Their grandmother didn't get lost in a supermarket, she got lost in a place that wasn't supposed to exist. Moral of the story: not everything that looks normal is safe, and sometimes curiosity leads you into places you cannot explain, but the real strength is staying together, staying calm, and never ignoring when something feels truly wrong.